What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. We're back, and it feels better than ever. I'm not going to lie, man. The setup is so much better at home than it is on the road. If you guys have been watching on the road, I appreciate you more than anything, obviously. Thank you for tuning in, despite, it not being A1, but today it's A1. If you guys know, we're back here from vacation, going to be talking about a fantasy football Q&A today, answering all your fantasy football questions as we head into week 17 of the fantasy football season. What does week 17 mean? It's now or never. It's championship week. You go home with the cheddar or you go home with nothing. That's what it is here this week. Everything's at stake. It's time to win that championship. So hopefully you guys are tuned in. Hopefully you guys are tapped in and you're playing for some gold here this week. See, we got a couple people in the chat. Want to shout you guys out for being here early. Caleb, Devin, Jimmy, RSG, all of you folks being here early. Appreciate you being in the chat. Now, Caleb, he says big week means must win, and that's damn straight. Says thank you for all that you do for the community. And I appreciate you, Caleb, man. I really do. As we're going into the new year, one of my homies that I'm grateful for, one of the people in this community that I really got close to, I would say first when I first got around into this community. So appreciate you, Caleb. You do a lot for the community as well. Don't let that get brushed under the rug. But thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. What do we do, man? What do we do? Caleb says the man's home. Yes, that is for sure. RSG says time to win a chip. Here we are. Devin, he's gonna kick us off with the first question. And Jimmy, I saw the love too. I appreciate you. He said you guys rock. Thanks for keeping us up to date. But the first question of the day, we'll answer this one. He says, "Yo, CD is out. Do I play Tracy Jr., Mooney, or Dobbs? I got a 55% chance to win." Now, look, I like Romeo Dobbs this week against the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings are pretty bad against wide receivers. Should be a game that has a lot of projected points in it as well. But Tracy Jr. feels like he has the highest floor. In a game where you're projected 55% chance, I think I'm still going to lean with Tracy. Tracy would probably be my play, and he's going to be the guy that I go with. So let's go with Tyrone Tracy Jr. Muscle, I appreciate you being here. Super chat from him, so thank you for that, obviously. He says, happy holidays to you. Have Jacobs as RB1, but with the news of Connor, should I go Connor or Breece? Happy future new year. So I'm looking at my rankings right now, actually. I can pull these up for you, and I'm assuming we're talking about full PPR. So in a full PPR league right now, I have Josh Jacobs. You said you already have him in there. I have him as a top 10 guy this week. I have Breece Hall as my running back 12, and I have James Conner as my running back. I have him low, man, just because of the news. I think I'm still going to go with Breece Hall. Breece Hall has a good matchup against Buffalo. Buffalo's ranked 30th against opposing running backs. He should still have some usage here this week. He's the safe play, and I think he's the ceiling play as well. So give me Breece Hall and Josh Jacobs here for this one. So appreciate you. As always, guys, that is a reminder as well. If you want to skip the line tonight, the best way to do that is Super Chat. So appreciate you for doing that. What are we at? Where are we at? I got this one. Any info on Robinson Jr. this week? So, Brian Robinson Jr., the latest information that I have on him right now is, where is it? I mean, everything that I'm seeing right now is he should be pretty much good to go. The matchup for him right now is pretty decent. Atlanta's they're middle of the pack, I feel like, against the running back position. It's a game that has a 47.5 projected game total, so there should be a lot of points to go around. I think he's an okay play, but it seems like everything's cool with him. As far as I'm assuming, any info on him this week would maybe be injury info or anything like that. So it seems like he's all good to go there. Luke says, I'm in the championship in one of my dynasty leagues, and I traded Hurts and Ayuk for Mayfield, Barkley, and Jaden Reed. I hope I win this chip in my first dynasty year. Now, that would be goated. First year in dynasty, going in and taking home the championship. You said you traded Hurts and Ayuk for Mayfield, Barkley, and Jaden Reed. It's a deal that is definitely going to be one that's trying to help you win this year. I think Jalen Hurts, he's a cornerstone QB to me. I know a lot of people worried about Jalen Hurts right now. And it hurts, man, if you have Jalen Hurts, to be honest. It hurts. It truly does. I think Johnny even said something in here. Jalen Hurts hurt me this week. He hurts me too. I have him in a dynasty where I'm playing for a championship this week, and I'm not going to get to play Jalen Hurts. The matchup is good for him. The concussion, obviously, if you were able to survive that last week and go to the championship, now you don't even get him. So I guess at least at the bare minimum, we know we can play somebody else. Hopefully you have some better options. I'm going to be playing Jared Goff and Sam Darnold in a super flex now that Jalen Hurts is out. I was probably going to play Jared Goff and Jalen Hurts before, but now Darnold gets the start in the Super Bowl. So he truly is Super Bowl Sam. We'll see what happens, man. I think Jalen Hurts and Ayuk are good long-term pieces. Mayfield, Barkley, and Reed, those guys can help you win this week. And if you want to win a championship right now, and you do get that championship, hey, what can you say? Because getting that gold is what we play for. Johnny says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Johnny. Hopefully everybody traveled wherever they had to travel, got home safely, wherever they had to get home. If you didn't travel, you didn't go anywhere, hopefully you had a good time at home with some nice time off, hopefully. Jameson says, PPR, Dobbins or Spears? I think I'm going to go with Dobbins. I fully expect him to get the workload, especially with the Gus Edwards news. I think he should get the workload this week, and I think he's the safer play than Spears, who's still going to split time with Tony Pollard, but he has been better over the last couple of weeks, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, give me Dobbins there. Niner says, full PPR, start one in the flex. Drake London, Tyron Tracy, J.K. Dobbins, Tajay Spears if Pollard is out. See, we've done this with Pollard every week, though, where it's like, if Pollard is out, and then Pollard always plays. And then Tajay still does okay. I think right now, just based off of these options, it is going to be Drake London for me. I would play Drake London. He's the best play in this bunch for me, so I would play him in a full PPR. Jonathan, my guy, says start 2. PPR, Connor, Aaron Jones, Garrett Wilson, BTJ. So I'm instantly going to rule out James Conner right now. It's going to be BTJ, and I think I'm going to go Aaron Jones. So Brian Thomas Jr. and Aaron Jones are going to be my 2 here. Super chat from Hickey Sun. Appreciate you, man, for getting in here and hitting the super chat. Lost Lamb, need running back plus 2 flex. You got Connor, Ford, Garendo, Dowdle, Thielen, Waddle, or Ferguson. So I'm nervous about Thielen. I don't know if Thielen's going to play after aggravating that hamstring on Thursday at practice. If this was my options here, I'm probably gonna play Ferguson in a tight end premium, especially with Lamb out. The running back, I'm gonna go Jerome Ford, and then I need one more flex. It's going to be Connor or Garendo. Garendo, you have to wait till Monday. It's going to be one of those 2 for me. So I think it's going to be Ferguson, Ford, and Connor, or Ferguson, Ford, and Garendo. Just depending on if you want to wait till Monday to figure out if Garendo's going to play, because we don't even know if he's going to play yet. He's still been pretty limited, I think, in practice. Haven't got a chance to check practice reports today just because I've been traveling. I literally flew in from Las Vegas to New York here today, so yeah, I haven't got a lot to look at today. I've been on a plane, but last I heard, we're still waiting on Garendo. Where are we at here? Abdullah or Robinson Jr. PPR, what you think is the better move? I'd probably still play Brian Robinson Jr. Abdullah still makes me nervous. He's kind of, both of these guys, I think you're looking at trying to get into the end zone. Robinson has the best end zone opportunity, I think, for me in this little question here. Jeezy says, I got James Cook, Achane, and Josh Jacobs. I unfortunately started Charbonnet hoping that he would pop off. I thought Charbonnet was going to have a really good game too. That game was ugly. Speaking of which, the early games so far this week in championship week, we've had a lot of duds. JSN, DK, Charbonnet. We had George Pickens have a bad day. Nico, Joe Mixon, lots of people having a bad day to start off championship week. So not good for us so far. But I guess if you didn't have anybody play early, you feel like you might have dodged some bullets. Getting back to the question, though, who should you start, Josh, Achane, or Cook? I'm assuming it's full PPR. And if it's full PPR, I already think I told everybody that I have Josh Jacobs as a top 10 guy. Achane I have as running back 8. And then who's the other one? Cook, I have him a little bit lower. I have him as running back 15. So I would go with Devon Achane. I would play him. But him and Josh Jacobs are both smash plays. They're both top 10 guys for me this week. Dan says, what a year of attrition. Forced to ride Rudolph to the ship. Hey, run, Rudolph. Let's go, baby. Let's see what happens, man. Who would have thought? And before I get into this question, who would have thought we'd be in the championship week right now, Dan? We're talking about, I'm starting Sam Darnold. I'm starting, Mason Rudolph. People are starting random guys like Michael Penix, who we didn't even think was going to start this year. Like, these are who we're starting to try and win a championship. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. Spencer Rattler might be starting in your Superflex leagues. If he is, you might be cooked. But yeah, there's lots going on right now. Start one wide receiver and one flex. Thielen, Garrett Wilson, Garendo, and Tracy Jr. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson at the wide receiver, and the flex I'm going to go with, I think I want to go Garendo, but it's between him and Tracy Jr. The problem is we don't know with Garendo, so I guess I'll play it safe and play Tracy, because I don't know if Garendo's going to play on Monday, but Garrett Wilson and Tracy would probably be my two. RSG says, chip on the line, half PPR, pick 2. You got Aaron Jones, Sutton, or McLaurin. Opponent is playing Knicks in the Superflex. He already played Lamar and Henry. Tough, because Lamar and Henry actually had some pretty good days. What would I do here? I'm going to play McLaurin. I think I'm playing Aaron Jones. I'm playing Aaron Jones and McLaurin. And that's just the way that I'm going to do it. I know you want to try and limit Bo Nix by throwing Sutton out there. I think you got to go with, let's hedge it even further and say, let's hope Bo Nix doesn't throw a touchdown, or he throws, a touch, or it's a couple rushing touchdowns in this game. And then you just go with the Aaron Jones rushing touchdown McLaurin. I think that's the way I'm hedging this one. So give me Aaron Jones and Terry McLaurin. Dan says, Tracy or Cooks at flex, full PPR. Assuming this is Brandon Cooks, Dan, I'm going to go with Tyrone Tracy. Luke says, make sure you guys leave a like on the live for the boy. Appreciate you, Luke. Really does mean a lot. If you guys want to, hit that like button for me. Luke says, Keenan Allen killed me too. That game was terrible to watch. That game was tough, man. I remember watching. I was sitting in my mom's house because I was down there for the holidays, and we were watching it day before I left. Just ugly, man. I didn't expect the rain to really get as messy as it did, and then also just felt like they were having a punt off. Every possession was a punt and a punt and a punt, and it just kept going and going. It was just a horrible game, ugly game, not fun to watch. But who knows? Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to find the silver lining here. There wasn't a silver lining there. But hopefully Caleb Williams has a better year too. Hey, hopefully they hire Ben Johnson. That would be nice for Caleb Williams in the future. Just want to let you guys know too, while we got a little bit of a break, make sure you keep throwing those questions in the chat. I want to answer as many as you got. We'll go until it gets slow. Once it gets slow, we'll do what we got to do. But if you guys are here for the first time and you guys have never done this, or maybe you're here before, you've heard me hit this promo before and you've never done it, but you want to try it out eventually, make sure you go sign up over on Underdog. Underdog is a friend of our show. They are giving a free pick. It's this way, not that way. Free pick over here for this weekend. Tua Tagovailoa. He needs to throw for 1 yard. If he throws for 1 yard in this game, you do win that part of your Pick'em entry. You get that Pick'em entry, that free pick, by signing up using our code. If you sign up using our code League FFB, they'll give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash as well, plus the free Pick'em entry. So you get all of that things considered. It does help support this show. You get some free money to hopefully win some free money as well. Double your money. Hey, maybe make the holidays a little bit sweeter for you, because maybe you got some Christmas cash from grandma. Now you got some cash from Underdog and the League FFB. So make sure you hit that promo code and go support the show if you haven't already. What else we got here? My guy Jake. Jake, what's up with you, man? He says, how you doing? Halt says, Love or Knicks? Give me Jordan Love, man. Give me Jordan Love this week. I have Jordan Love. Where is he in my quarterback rankings? I have him right now as quarterback 10. Right there in line with Bo Nix, but I think Jordan Love could get in the shootout here with the Minnesota Vikings. It's a big game, man. It's a big game for the division. RSG says, appreciate it. That was my thought process too. Need Barkley and my St. Brown Goff stack to go off this week. I'm right there with you, man, because in my Dynasty Championship in one of my home leagues, it's one of our home Dynasty leagues, we are going to be relying on Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, the Lions stack, plus I also have Jahmyr Gibbs. So we're rooting for a big Lions game. That's what I need right now. And then Saquon Barkley, he's probably due for one if Jalen Hurts is not going to be playing. But who knows what happens with Kenny Pickett under center. All right, we got Jerome Ford, Tajay Spears, or Tracy, full PPR. Give me Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford would be my play there. I like him in full PPR. Luke says, who's your MVP this year, Lamar or Josh or a third dark horse? MVP Sam Darnold. No, I'm just kidding. I do think Sam Darnold probably needs a little bit more talk, but he's not playing at the level of these two guys. For me, the MVP race is not over. I think Lamar's last game was a big case. His last two games kind of made a big swing, I think, in his favor for the MVP, just because the last two games for Josh Allen as well have been kind of quiet. I think right now I'm still going to just give the edge, just a slight edge to Josh Allen, but I would not be surprised if, this week, Josh goes out and has a mediocre day. I think we might be ready to swing it over to Lamar as a favorite, but I think for right now I'm still going Josh Allen just a tiny bit, and I think I'm playing in the record to that as well, because the Ravens, they dropped some lame duck games at the beginning of the year, and I hated seeing that as a football fan, knowing how good the Ravens are. Hated seeing them drop those games. It's just, you can't do that, but Lamar's been balling, so hey, what can you do? And if you're me, Luke, I have a dynasty team where I have Lamar and Josh as my two QBs, and Superflex has been the greatest year of all time for me. Jimmy says, what about quarterback Bo Nix or Richardson this week? Sucks, Hurts is out of there. I would go Bo Nix over Richardson. Richardson, to me, he's a very, very risky play. They get the New York Giants, but you've obviously had the back / foot / whatever injuries are going on with him that kind of make him questionable. I think that's Bo Nix for me then in this situation. Even if Pollard is out, in 2-week playoffs, Schultz, Nico, and JSN did nothing for me. Yeah, I mean, if Pollard is out, it's a different situation. I'm not operating as if Pollard is out right now. If Pollard is out, you play Tajay Spears. There's no questions about it. But Pollard has done this multiple weeks in a row now where he's missed practices and he hasn't practiced all week. And then come Sunday, he's playing and he's getting, a little bit of work there. So until we know that he's out, I'm operating as if Tajay Spears is still splitting work with Tony Pollard. Johnny says there's not a lot better than Vikings fans rooting for the Lions. Hey man, look, let's just be real here, Johnny. We're rooting for them for fantasy purposes. If you guys lose and Jared Goff throws 5 touchdowns and 2 of them go to Amon-Ra, that's like best case scenario for me. But look, we'll see what happens. I need lots of fantasy points from y'all. Don't get it twisted. I'm not rooting for you to win the game. I just need lots of fantasy points. So don't get that one twisted there, Johnny. All right, what else you guys got for me tonight? Johnny. Man, I know I already said it at the top of the show. I can't tell you how good it feels to be back in the normal setup. The normal setup just feels so much crisper, so much smoother, so much easier. Man, it's not better than, there's just something about being home. As much as I love, being at my mom's house and spending time with my family and being away on vacation, there's just something about being home. Am I the only one that feels that way? Are y'all homebodies kind of like me? Lito says, thoughts on Josh Jacobs versus the Vikings this week? What about Rashad versus Carolina as a flex play? I need both to pop off for my first ever championship game in my first ever Dynasty League. You love to hear the championship aspirations. What do I think about Josh Jacobs against the Vikings? Look, the Vikings are a tough run defense, but I still have Josh Jacobs as a top 10 running back in my rankings this week. I think you can play him as a low-end RB1. Should be a very good spot for him to still get, a rushing touchdown, get some PPR work. Should be lots of points to go around. I think if I'm not mistaken, this game has a 49, maybe 48 and a half point projected game total. I think the spread is only like 1 point, and so it should be competitive the whole way through. You're seeing about a 70% rush share right now, 10% target share. Josh Jacobs is going to smash, man. Even though the matchup is bad, he should still smash this week. When I'm looking at Rachaad White versus Carolina, you like to see that matchup as well. However, I like Bucky Irving much, much more. Bucky Irving to me is a top 5 running back play this week. I think Rachaad White is probably closer to running back 16 to 24 range, maybe that mid to low end RB2. That's kind of the way I'm viewing Rachaad White, but as a flex play, I think you're more than happy to get RB2 numbers out of him this week, especially if he gets into the end zone. So I don't mind it. The only thing that worries me a little bit is he had that fumble last week, which obviously Todd Bowles has kind of talked a little bit about that and not been happy about it. So it does worry me a tiny bit about him there, but I think both of these guys have great opportunities in front of them this week, and they should both score some pretty decent fantasy numbers for you. Nate says, thoughts on starting Spears over Ramondre in my third flex, even if Pollard is in a half PPR league. So that's interesting, man, because Ramondre's matchup against the Chargers is probably a top 10 running back matchup. I think if you have to decide between Tajay and Ramondre in a half PPR, you're kind of looking for, in my opinion, you're kind of trying to bet on the touchdown. And even if Pollard is in, I think I like Tajay's touchdown upside more against Jacksonville this week than I do like Ramondre against the Chargers. Now, I don't know what the betting, odds are on those two guys. My guess is that they're probably pretty close, but I like Tajay's a little bit more. I think even if Pollard plays, I would play Spears over Ramondre in that half-point PPR league. Now you got me curious. I'm actually about to look up those odds real quick because I kind of want to see what the anytime touchdown is on those guys. Give me a second here. So it looks like the anytime touchdown odds on Ramondre are plus 130. The anytime touchdown odds on Tajay Spears are plus 120. So actually, sportsbooks, at least DraftKings, is which I was looking at, they actually have higher odds, just barely, to Tajay Spears. So yeah, I think I still agree with that. Appreciate all of you guys for tapping in. I see we got like 39 viewers right now. At least that's what my screen is telling me. We only have 9 likes. So if you guys have asked a question, I've answered your question, you're enjoying the content, you're enjoying the conversation, the banter, whatever it may be, you just want to support the show, go down and hit that like button for me. It is the best free way to show this channel some support. Really easy to do. Doesn't really do too much for you, but it does a lot for this channel. It does help us grow. It does help us spread, kind of our reach across the fantasy industry, so we can at least see more people, hopefully pop up on more feeds, and then hopefully help more people as well. So if you guys just want to do a little favor for me, you feel like you're in the giving mood, the giving spirit because of Christmas and all of that, the holidays, hit that like button for me. That can be your Christmas gift from me, or from you to me, is you just hit the like button for me today. Appreciate you guys. Lito also says, what do you think about Saquon without Hurts? Does it hurt or boost his upside? I have the Hurts plus A.J. Brown stack, but now I have to start Bryce Young for my championship and play Saquon. I think Saquon without Hurts kind of hurts him more than it helps him. And I think really it's just because of the efficiencies of the offense. I think there's going to be less red zone opportunities, less touchdown opportunities. For what it's worth, though, last week when Kenny Pickett was under center, it seemed like he was feeding A.J. Brown. Like, he was kind of locked in on that first read, and A.J. Brown did get a lot of work. Saw a lot of targets, saw a lot of receptions coming his way. I'm the most confident of every player on Philly this week. The player I'm the most confident in is actually A.J. Brown. And maybe that's crazy just based on the year that Saquon's having, and he's kind of chasing a record as well. But I feel the most confident in A.J. Brown this week. And I think Saquon, he's still going to be good. I still have him as a guy in my rankings who's currently I don't know what I just did there. Sorry, folks. I still have him in my rankings as a guy who's my RB3. So, it's still a good play. But, yeah, it's I feel confident in A.J. Brown. How many ships are you competing for? So I only play in 6 leagues. I don't play in a lot of lineup leagues. I do a ton of best ball drafts on Underdog, but my lineup leagues, I have 6 of them. Playing for money in 2 of the 6 and championship in 1 of the 6. So I'd say, what is that, 2 out of 6 where you're going to cash or make profit this year? I don't know, 33%. But it's a small sample size, so nothing crazy. What else we got here? Little says, worried about A.J. Brown this week, but I got BTJ to carry me. Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about either, though, to be honest. I think they should both be fine. BTJ or Reek and Murray or Baker. So in my rankings right now, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm getting pretty high on BTJ. It just feels like he's almost matchup proof. I have him as a top 12 wide receiver this week. I have Tyreek Hill as a top 15. So I probably am going to play BTJ over Tyreek Hill in my championship week. When it comes to Kyler versus Baker Mayfield, I have Baker Mayfield as the better play against Carolina. I'm going to play Baker Mayfield. I'm going to play BTJ. 15 targets is crazy, though. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Timothy says, half PPR, need 2. Pollard, Spears, Josh Downs. Okay. This is tough, man. I think this is one of the toughest ones that we've mentioned today. I think I'm going to go Josh Downs, and I'm just trying to decide between Pollard and Spears. I think I'm going to go Spears over Pollard and do that. I think I'm going Spears and Downs. Johnny says AOC or Pickett. What a damn question. To be honest, I think I'd rather play Pickett, but AOC right now is sitting. They're both sitting like really low in my rankings. I have Kenny Pickett as quarterback 26. I have AOC as quarterback 29. So I'll play Kenny Pickett over AOC, but they're both low end plays for me this week. Big Sean says, playing Saquon and Jamar in my chip, so I need the best team possible, and I had Nico give me less than 10, so I much appreciate the help. Yeah, no worries, man. It's a crazy week. Like I said, we had some studs to start off the week, not give us the best games. In one of my championship games, I'm playing against, I guess, my only championship game. I have a third place game that I'm still playing for money. You can make profit in the third place. If third place wins, they get some money. So that one is still something worth playing for. But in my championship, I'm playing against George Pickens and Nico Collins. They combined for 16 points, 17 points. So I'm feeling okay. The only thing is Jalen Hurts he was one of my QBs. So I'm going to be without Jalen, but he had Nico put up a little bit of a dud. Not a full dud, but it wasn't a great performance. So I'm feeling all right there. My third place game, I had Joe Mixon on the roster, so I'm not feeling great about it, but I also had Lamar. So Lamar had a great day. That's a 6-point passing touchdown league too, so he put up 34. We'll see what happens, man. I think we're going to be okay no matter what. But yeah, no worries. The short answer, I kind of rambled there, but short answer to you, no worries, man. I always appreciate you guys asking questions. I'm always happy to help. Lito says, Bryce Young at Tampa Bay, thoughts? He's been really impressive. Is the rushing upside potentially sticky? At least enough to believe in the upside. My waivers for QB are pretty dry, though. I don't mind Bryce Young this week if you're looking for an option. I think the rushing, I don't think he's going to do as much as he did last week. However, Tampa Bay has been fairly soft against quarterbacks this year. They're ranked 30th right now in fantasy points allowed, so he should have a decent day. In fact, I have Bryce Young right around a Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, kind of Drake May type of beat this week. So if you have Bryce Young, I'd be kind of looking at him as this guy who's probably a mid to low end QB2 this week. And in a super flex, if you have to play him, that's fine. if you're missing a QB and you're looking for one, I think Bryce Young's probably better than anybody that might be on waivers. TP says Reed or Marvin Harrison Jr. or Downs if Flacco plays. If Flacco plays, I think Downs is probably the guy that you play. When it comes to Reed or Marvin Harrison Jr., it's so hard for me to trust both of these guys at this moment. Reed hasn't been good for a while. Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't been good for a while, but in my rankings right now, I have Jaden Reed as my wide receiver 34, and I have Marvin Harrison as my wide receiver 37. So I'd play Reed over Marvin Harrison, but Downs, if it's Flacco under center, Downs would be higher than both of them. So in order, if Flacco plays, Downs, Reed, Marvin Harrison Jr. But if it's A-Rich, I think it's going to be Reed, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then Downs for me. I'm playing Purdy, Saquon, Henry, Puka, JSN, Flowers, James Cook, Aaron Jones, and J-Mo. Okay, so JSN didn't give you the great day, but Purdy has upside. I think he should be one of the better plays. Henry obviously had a good game. Puka and Saquon both can smash. James Cook and Aaron Jones can have good days. Flowers can have... what did Flowers have? What did Flowers' day end up looking like? Not great, I don't think. And then J-Mo could have a decent day as well. So, I don't know, man. I think you still have some upside. You didn't have the good performance from Flowers and JSN, but you still have a lot of upside on this team. It says shout out to JSN and Flowers being stinky this week. Stinky boys, man. Jimmy King says, what do you think about Wilson or McMillan? PPR. And do you think that there's a chance Adams doesn't play? Between Wilson and McMillan, I would rather play Garrett Wilson. Jalen McMillan is my wide receiver 35 this week. Garrett Wilson is my wide receiver 21. So I have him quite higher, and that is even assuming that Adams plays. If Devontae Adams doesn't play, Garrett Wilson would be like... he'd end up being like a top 10 wide receiver for me. But I think Adams probably plays. But Garrett Wilson, I'd definitely play Garrett Wilson over Jalen McMillan. What else we got, folks? Anything? So I'll tell you my lineup in my championship game for my Dynasty League. I'm playing, this team's loaded, by the way, but Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, it's super flex. So those are the two QBs that I'm playing. Two running backs are going to be Jonathan Taylor and Jahmyr Gibbs. My three wide receivers are Ladd McConkey, Brian Thomas, and Puka Nacua. My tight end is Trey McBride. And then my flex positions, I have Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So should be a damn good game. Lots of opportunities there. It's heavily going to be relying on the Vikings and the Lions this week. And then my other game where I'm playing for third place, which will win some money. My team is Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Mixon, Chuba Hubbard, Cooper Kupp, A.J. Brown, Jordan Addison, George Kittle, Jerome Ford, and Jahmyr Gibbs. So both teams should be pretty decent. Big Sean says, so in my league, we don't have a true tight end spot. It's wide receiver or tight end. Okay, so it's like the receiver flex. So I'm starting McBride over Reek. Think that's the right player. Would you play Reek? Do the tight ends get a premium at all, Sean? If they get a premium, even a half point, I think it's easily McBride. If not, it's a little bit more of a conversation. I think I still lean McBride over Reek. Problem is just McBride doesn't score touchdowns, man. For whatever reason, he doesn't get into the end zone. Jonathan says, yeah, if no Adams, I'm going to pivot to Garrett over Aaron Jones easily. If Adams is not in the game, Garrett Wilson is a top 5, top 6 wide receiver this week. Timothy says, going with Spears and Downs. Thank you. No problem, Timothy. Hopefully that brings the gold home for you. Sean says no. So I think no premium, it makes it more interesting. In my PPR ranks, like I said, I have Hill about wide receiver 14. McBride, to me, he's my tight end 2 on the week. They're pretty close. I think I go McBride still. He feels like he has the safer floor. Davis says, is Jerome Ford or Tajay over Juwan Jennings ridiculous? No, I don't think it's ridiculous. I have Juwan Jennings currently as my wide receiver 18 on the week. So in a full PPR, I do want to play Juwan Jennings. I got Jerome Ford as my running back 17. So I would say Ford and Jennings are similar to me. Jennings has the better matchup on paper. So it's not ridiculous, but I think the best play is Jennings, in my opinion. Timothy says, you feel okay about Jordan Love against the Vikings? 6 point per passing touchdown. Waiver options are Kyler and Matt Stafford. I mean, I feel fine with him against the Vikings. I think he's going to be probably a QB1 this week, no matter what. As far as those other options go, I think the only one that I would maybe make an argument for would be Kyler against the Rams. The Rams were ranked 24th against QB. You could maybe play him, but he's been up and down. I don't mind Jordan Love. Jordan Love feels like the safest of these options. It's just between him and Kyler for me. But full disclosure, I've kind of been a Kyler truther this year, and it hasn't paid off very well. So I'd probably go with Jordan Love. Jay Dollar says, need one wide receiver and one flex. Debo, Garrett Wilson, Rashad White, and B-Rob. Give me Garrett Wilson for certain at the wide receiver. The flex, I'm between Debo. I think I'm between Debo and White. Where do I have Debo at in my rankings this week? He's tough to trust too because he's had like such bad weeks back to back. I think I'd play Debo over White though. So let's go with Debo and Garrett Wilson. Big Sean says, I started McBride last week and almost lost. It's like literally his only bad game all week. It was in the fantasy playoffs. Or his bad game all year. It's been in the fantasy playoffs. Dylan says, Champ, we questions strictly for tomorrow's games. I'll be back again for Sunday questions. Hell yeah. So let's see what we got in here, Dylan. He says, one running back, one tight end. It's cut off, but I think I got it here. Whatever. I'm not going to do that. I can see it. You guys don't need to see the full question. Now I got it all messed up. God damn it. One more. God. Folks, what the fuck? God, I'm leaving it, bro. Whatever. I'm leaving it. There you go. What the hell was happening? All right, now I gotta fix this. Why did I do that? I shouldn't have scrolled on that thing. All right, I think we can just do this. There we go. Damn, dude. Dylan, you broke my damn screen. I'm just kidding. All right, so he says one running back, one tight end, Dobbins, Abdullah, Hunter Henry, Chigakonkwo. Okay, so one running back. We're going Dobbins over Abdullah, and then I'm going Chig over Hunter Henry. So we're going, yeah, Dobbins and Chig. One wide receiver, Sutton, Devonta Smith. Give me Cortland Sutton. The one QB between Baker and Murray, I'm going Baker. And then the tight end between Henry, Fergie, and Durham, I'm going Ferg. So hopefully you got all of that. It's the least I can do after you broke my screen. Lito says, Dynasty questions cool? Absolutely. 100% always cool with Dynasty questions. What are your thoughts on Rashad White and Charbonnet as offseason assets? Would you hold them both? My running back room is Bijan, Josh Jacobs, and Chase Brown, plus Corum and Algier. So, honestly, my strategy that I'm going to be doing with a lot of my running backs in the offseason, especially like running backs that I feel like are kind of there's questions about them. I think Rachaad White and Charbonnet would both classify as these types of running backs. I'm probably going to sell at the early start of the offseason. I'm going to let, free agency running backs go. I'm going to let them sign, muddy up some backfields. I'm going to let the rookie draft class get drafted because there's going to be a lot of good running backs in this class. I think there's probably going to be 10 to 12 running backs in this class that end up finding roles in offenses, not just necessarily being like stud starters, but guys that can come in and be a, high-end handcuff, a Zach Charbonnet to a Kenneth Walker. I think there's going to be a lot of those guys. So I would probably sell Rachaad White and Charbonnet at the beginning of the offseason, let those backfields get muddy. As you get closer to July, August, September, as we get closer to football, I'll start picking and choosing where I want to buy those running backs back in my on my rosters, because I think at that point you'll probably get them a little bit cheaper. You'll also probably be able to have a clear picture of what's going on. You also don't need to set lineups, all summer long, so you don't necessarily have to roster the running back. So I will trade them for safer assets, maybe assets that I think are going to increase in value. For example, if you can get, a second or 2 seconds for one of these guys potentially, I think you probably won't be able to, but an early second maybe even to go get one of those guys. That early second goes up in value. I'll trade it come draft time or just use it on another running back or whatever I got to do. But yeah, I think those guys are guys that I'd probably be selling at the beginning of the offseason. And then if you still want them, come September, buy them back in September, assuming that nothing happens into their backfields. I think Rachaad White could potentially get his backfield job taken. I think they could maybe move on from him. Charbonnet, I don't know what they're gonna do with him. Probably still just plays as a backup to Kenneth. Little says, my wide receiver room is AJB, BTJ, Rice, Amari, Bateman, Wicks, and Yoshavash, so I want more wide receiver depth, I think. Moving one of those running backs for wide receiver depth, I don't mind that at all either, because the wide receiver is going to be a little bit of a safer position. Also says, Bowers, Mark Andrews, and Goddard at my tight ends, and I'd love to package a running back and a tight end for a decent flexible wide receiver 3 type. Assuming, the fact that you have Bowers, I'm taking whoever the league values more, Charbonnet or who's the other guy? Rachaad. I'm pairing them with Mark Andrews, and I'm going to get another guy. So I'm going to use Mark Andrews' name value. I'm going to use the running back and go from there. Dylan's sitting here laughing, laughing. Everybody's dead that my damn screen broke. I was sitting here messing with this shit. I'm trying to use the little scroll on the Apple Magic Mouse, whatever, too, and it's a pain in the ass, bro. It's so finicky at times. Sometimes I miss the old school, the little roller wheel that you'd have on the mouse. Sometimes, we didn't have to make everything touch screen. Johnny says, bust of the season, Pittman. I'm going to one-up you. I agree also, by the way, but I'm going to one-up you too. CJ Stroud's definitely been one of the biggest busts of the year, in my opinion. Victor says, I need your help, boss. I got cooked by DJ Moore and Pickens, but I have Rachaad White, Spears, and Ford, but I can only start one. Who are we starting? Okay, so my answer is going to change depending on Tony Pollard's availability. I'm operating right now as if he is playing. If Tony Pollard is playing, Jerome Ford is the running back that I start. If Tony Pollard, for some reason, does not play, and it's just Tajay Spears in the backfield, it's Tajay Spears who I play. So hopefully, Victor, that helps you. Keep an eye on Tony Pollard because he is the X factor in this decision. But go Ford unless Pollard is out. If Pollard is out, go Spears. Scribbles. Did we do something bad in a past life? I'm a good guy. Why were the holiday NFL games so bad? Why did they force us to watch that product? Why? They wanted you to spend more time with your family. They needed you to spend more time with your family, so you should have turned the football game off. I don't know why we got to the point where we're, fantasy football playoffs and Christmas are in the same time. Honestly, I hated it. I'm not going to lie to you. I hated it. I'd rather just not be worrying about my championship week while I'm on vacation trying to spend time with the family, but it is what it is. This is the life we chose, I guess, if we're really these fantasy football heads. But hey, what can we say? Downs over Rachaad White. If A-Rich is not playing, if it's Flacco under center, give me Downs by a mile. I think if A-Rich plays, though, give me Rachaad White. Little says, thanks, GOAT. Appreciate you. You the GOAT as well. Victor says, thank you. I appreciate it. Scribbles says, sneaky bust of the year, Brees. Definitely a guy that hasn't fulfilled the expectations that we had for him. We actually did a fantasy football award show on this channel right before I left for vacation, and I think the bust of the year voted by our community was Travis Etienne. I think our community voted Travis Etienne as the biggest bust of the year, and that hurt because coming into the year, Travis Etienne was my guy for me, so that hurt. Cam says, "What's good, broski? Got a couple questions for you, dog. Hit me. Put them in the chat. Happy to answer them all." And Scribble says, "Thank you. No problem, man." Scribble says, "ETN, yeah." I'm like that, yeah. He's not like that. I've been saying that all week, by the way. Justin Jefferson says that. I'm like that, yeah. I've been saying that all week. I don't know why. It's been stuck in my head. It's like a tick. It's bad. Cam says, flex 2, full PPR. J.K. Dobbins, who's trying to get 134 yards to get a $150,000 bonus. Good context there. Brian Robinson Jr., Thielen, McMillan, or Pooper Cup. Tough, man. I'd probably go with I'm so nervous about Thielen this week because I think there's a chance that he even just gets ruled out entirely. But in a full PPR, assuming everybody's healthy, I think I'm just going with Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen. If Adam Thielen doesn't play, though, I think you have an argument for JK. So give me, as much as I hate to say it, give me Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen right now. Victor says, luckily the Seahawks dropped 16 and put me back in the game. I need Bo Nix and JT to take me to the promised land. I need this first place to get 2K if I get first. Hell yeah. You'll have to hear that. Johnny, I saw your shit down there. I'm going to get to it, but god damn it. Cam says, DST this week, Colts, Dolphins, Chargers. Give me the Colts. I think they're one of the best defensive plays this week. Lito says, would you do Mark Andrews plus Rashad for Ayuk? What about Andrews plus Sharps for Odunze? I do both. Easy. I think they're both good moves. But to be honest, I think I might take the Odunze just for the upside in a dynasty over Ayuk. So give me Andrews and Sharps for Odunze if you could do it. But I do both of them just to answer the question. No Gus Edwards for JK, so I see him getting a full role. I agree. I think you can play him too. Johnny says, have you ever eaten raccoon? I have not. I saw the video of, who was it that tried? I think somebody on the Carolina Panthers media team tried it because Xavier Legette was saying that he eats raccoon, or they cooked raccoon or something like that. Never ate it. I don't think I ever will, bro. I don't know if you could pay me to do it. Maybe, I don't know. Scribble says, I ain't eating no raccoon, dog. Legette can keep that. Just insane. I mean, maybe that's common down there. I'd never have heard nobody eating that on holiday, but it is what it is. Scribble says, who wins comeback player of the year and why shouldn't it be Bryce Young? What a story. That comeback player of the year award, honestly, I kind of have a gripe with it because it feels very much like you could split that into like two awards. It's like comeback player of the year. It feels like a lot of the times they want to give it to a guy who like had an injury that they had to come back from. But like, I think comeback is just good comeback stories. I think Sam Darnold, is one of the guys that should be probably top of the list for comeback player of the year. His career was dead. People did not believe Sam Darnold could be him. People did not believe Sam Darnold was going to be good. It was pretty much like he was about to be out of the league. And now he's like MVP conversations. Like he legitimately, if you go to like DraftKings and you look at MVP odds, he's going to be in the top 10 MVP odds. A team that's like a 13-win team right now, I don't know, man. It's just, it feels very much like he could be comeback player of the year. Bryce Young's a guy who could be comeback player of the year. But if you give it to a guy who was injured or something like that, I think it's the same argument as last year. You had the DeMar Hamlin who came back from the injury, the near-death experience, and then Joe Flacco who was like comeback player of the year. Like, what a hell of a story. It just feels like that award could be broken up into 2 different categories. I think I just love those stories in general. But yeah, definitely. Dustin says Bo or Purdy. I'm going with Purdy this week. I think it's a good matchup for Purdy. I think he's going to have to throw the football a lot. I have him as a top 8 guy in my rankings. Where are we at with Litto? Says Rashee Rice outlook next season. I like Rashee Rice. I'm a little bit worried about his outlook a tiny bit. Coming back from the injury, he should be fine to go week 1, but usually it takes a little bit to get back to full game speed. I'm a little bit worried about that. Worthy's getting better down the second half of the stretch. I'm a little bit nervous about him. And then you also have the looming maybe suspension still to happen with Rashee Rice. I think if people want to buy into Rashee Rice, I'd be open to selling. Let me just say I'd be open to selling this offseason if the price is right. For Rashee Rice. But I think that there's going to be too many narratives that his price isn't going to get as high as where it was, week 3 of the fantasy football season. And it's going to be tough to sell him low because we've seen the potential of what he could be. So I'm kind of stuck with Rashee right now, but I have some concerns. Am I one of the only leagues that has the championship next week? Probably. Most championships we should not be running into week 18 because most of these teams are resting guys in week 18, especially the good ones. So I don't know, man. Let's talk to the commission. Let's get that one switched, Victor. Where's your favorite landing spot for a rookie wide receiver this year? I'd love to see a guy like Ted McMillan get landed in New England with Drake May. I'd like to see him go there. I wouldn't mind Dallas, picking up another wide receiver to put next to CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, Los Angeles Chargers is a good spot. Another guy to go with Ladd McConkey out there would be a good place. Those are some that come to the top of the mind. I also wouldn't mind seeing trying to think what else. I think those are the top ones that come to mind. I think I just really would like to see somebody go play number 1 wide receiver for Drake May. I'd like to see that. Big Sean says, all right, Andrew, much appreciated the help and best of luck to you in your leagues. Thank you, man. I appreciate you as well. Scribble says, Sam Darnold for sure. Crazy revival. Johnny says, nobody thinks Sam Darnold is him. I do. I think he's him. Just kidding. I think he's doing damn good, though. Johnny, let us live every once in a while, bro. Act like you want to be here for once without shitting on the Vikings, bro. I give Detroit props all the time. You don't got to sit here and give the Vikings shit, bro. Act like you've been here before. Cam says, you think Cooper over JK? I need floor, not ceiling. Cooper's floor seems almost invisible. Yeah, I'd go JK over Cooper. Would you say I'm making the right choice benching Love for Bo this week? Cincy and Denver both fighting for playoff spots. I like this game script. I don't know how you feel about this, though. I have them close in my rankings. They're actually really close in my rankings. I think Cincy's the better matchup. They have an easier defense to score on. Bo Nix has some rushing upside. It all comes down to, I think, playing who you feel the most comfortable with. I think both of them are going to be QB1s this week. Low-end QB1s. So I don't think you can go wrong either way. If you're feeling the Cincinnati-Denver matchup, play Bo. I don't have an issue with that at all. Tua plus what for Kyler? Also, what can I get for Bijan? Thanks. I don't know. It depends on the manager, to be honest. Tua, I feel like there's a world where with the right manager, you can maybe go Tua plus a early second this year for Kyler and maybe get that done. Kyler's not coming off of a fantastic year, so who knows, man? Maybe you can get that one done. what can you get for Bijan? You should be getting a lot for Bijan Robinson. He's a two first type of guy at minimum, in my opinion, right now. Why are you nervous for Thielen? Didn't get just clear as healthy from questionable. What insider shit do you know? Wait, hold on. What are you talking about? I'm nervous about Adam Thielen because he aggravated. Also, full disclosure, Cam, I did say I was traveling all day, so let me relook the Adam Thielen news. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing something, but I try to keep my Adam Schefter, notifications on. I'm very nervous about a guy who tweaks the hamstring midweek, on a team that's not playing for shit. That just makes me nervous. So that's kind of why I'm nervous. I don't know, man. He also didn't. That's the same. I think it's the same hamstring that he went on IR for. So that definitely makes me nervous. Yeah, I don't know if I have like insider information, but that's why I'm nervous. I have a championship week 18 because it's an 8-man work league and the commissioner has. I'm not talking about the receiver. God damn it, Cam. Nate says, quick question. I have an offer for Jordan, Addison, Shaheed, a second, and a third. Is that enough to move on in Dynasty, or should I hold Addison? So the offer is Shaheed, a second, and a third for Jordan. I'm not doing that. I'm keeping Jordan Addison over the package there. Caleb says Debo or McMillan and Allen or Daniels for the chip. Bro, we talked about this, bro. You text me. I'm going Debo and I'm going Josh Allen. I'm playing those two, and that's the way we're going to rock with it. I got Josh Allen as my number 1 QB this week. It's just play your studs, man. Davis says, who do you have higher this week, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Juan? And does Tajay become a mandatory start if no Tony Pollard? If Tony Pollard does not play, he is a mandatory start. Who do I have higher this week, Marvin Harrison or Juan? I'd probably play Juwan Jennings over Marvin Harrison, to be honest. Nate says Addison for that package. Yeah, hell no. Give me Jordan Addison, bro. Johnny says nothing personal, but Darnold is not Allen, Jackson, Hurts, Mahomes. He's had a fantastic year, but he's not a game winner in my opinion. I think he's about the same as Jared Goff right now, though, Johnny. Let's be real, though. Let's be real. We just gotta be real, Johnny. What do we got? Couple more, and then we'll get out because we're about the hour mark. So I'm about to wrap this one up. Luis, need a flex. I have Jaden Reed. Jordan Reed. I almost pulled a Jordan Reed out my bag. Jaden Reed, Jonnu Smith, Mooney, J.K. Dobbins. Now he's logged to full practice. Yeah, it's gonna be J.K. Dobbins or Jaden Reed for me. I think Jaden Reed has a smash matchup, but J.K. Dobbins has a pretty high floor, and he should get into the end zone. So give me J.K. most likely if you need the safety. Caleb says, comment for the algo. Appreciate you. I'm a fraud and use your rankings as my rankings. LOL, just kidding. Yeah, if you could find my maybe you have access to my sheet. Maybe I give you access. Maybe I did give you access to my sheet. I don't know. I feel like I've shared sheets with you all summer long when we were doing some collabs and stuff. Johnny said I didn't bring up golf. Fair enough. Maybe I got hostile. Maybe that's me. That's on me. I'll lay off Jared Goff. I'm sorry. Nate says I'm right there with you. Just wanted to make sure I didn't have my blinders on. Yeah, man. I think to me that would have been a hell no. I would have declined that offer as soon as it hit my inbox. I wouldn't have even looked at it for more than 5 seconds. I would have said, yeah, no, I'm out. But that's it, folks. Speaking of I'm out of here. So wanted to let you guys know one more time. If you guys want to support our show, make sure you go sign up on Underdog. Underdog is giving new users this weekend a free pick. Tua throws for 1 yard. You cash. You also get some bonus cash when you sign up using our code League FFB. They give you up to $1,000. So make sure you sign up, use that code, support the show, win some free money, use the holiday money that you got to get double your money. And everybody gets money. That's the way it is over here. Hopefully you guys can just, do that for us if you've never done it. If not, no worries. It is what it is. Never going to ask you to spend money on what you don't want to spend money on, even if it's just free money. But at the end of the day, guys, that is what it is. I'll hit these last two. Gorilla says, would you trade Bucky Irving for the 105 in Dynasty? 100%. I would take the 105 over Bucky Irving all day long. I would send that immediately. If somebody actually sent that to me in my inbox, it's already accepted. It's out of there. And then Johnny says, but since you did, check the stats, bro. We can check him another day. I ain't got time today, Johnny. I don't want to argue this shit, man. I don't want to argue Jared Goff, and I don't want to argue Sam Darnold. I want to go enjoy my evening, man. I just was on a plane for 6 hours today, so I'm going to go chill. Johnny says hit the like buttons. Y'all do that. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all the good stuff. Join the Discord. There's a free Discord linked in the description. I'm helping you guys in there 24/7, 365. If you have Week 18 championships, you better be in that Discord because that's going to be one of the best ways to reach me during those Week 18 championships. But most people won't. Anyways, I have nothing else for you guys today. See you on the next one. Peace out.